Hi, I'm Beth. Welcome to Read Remark. Today I'm going to be participating in the Feminist February Literature Challenge. Hi guys, thanks so much for joining me. Today I'm going to be taking the Feminist Lit Feb Challenge. This challenge was created by another YouTuber. I'll be sure to link to her in the comments, where she has given us a challenge of reading certain books by feminists during February. So I am up to the task. Please excuse all the party celebrations we've got in the back. We're doing some celebrating up in here. Number 1, read a book with female protagonists. So I did this. It was The Mothers by Britt Bennett. It's about a girl named Nadia whose mother dies when she's relatively young, and she grows up and has kind of a turbulent adolescence. Meanwhile, these mothers are watching on and commenting. So I belong to a group on Goodreads that has been talking about this book and having a lot of debate, some of it really contentious about what this book means to them. Apparently, The Mothers means a lot of different things to a lot of different people. So for some people, they think of it as anti-abortion. They think of it as a manifesto against abortion. For other people, they think of it as anti-church. They really think that the church looked down too harshly on her, and so it's a criticism of that. For me, it's a little bit different. I kind of see the mothers of this book as a Greek chorus. So they're judging Nadia, they're commenting on all of her actions, but not really doing anything to help her, which is really ironic because they're the mothers of this story, and what Nadia really needs in her life is just a mother to help guide her through all of these tough things that she's dealing with. Really good book. Number 2, read a book of feminist nonfiction. For this one, I read The Feminist Fight Club by another Bennett. This one was by Jessica Bennett. So, interesting story on how I came to read this one. Someone at work had come across some young ladies in college who were being schooled on how to deal with the workplace. So, how to have crucial conversations with their bosses, how to advocate for themselves, how to get ahead, how to ask for a raise or a promotion. And the person that they brought in to speak to them about it was a male. So the ladies of the class said, no, the stuff he's talking about is relevant for males, not necessarily for us as young women in the workplace. And so enter Feminist Fight Club. One thing about this book is that it's a little bit combative, maybe more combative than you would need to be in a diplomatic workplace situation. But then again, it is called Feminist Fight Club, not Feminist Diplomatic Workplace Situation Club. So it's a really good read. Really interesting look from the female's point of view at the workplace. Number 3, read a book that has diversity in it. For this one, I read The Vegetarian by Han Kang, and it gave me all the feels. It's so strange. This book is really polarizing also, much like The Mothers. Some people love it, some people hate it, some people think it's just straight up weird. It left me kind of unmoored. I have all the feels and I don't quite know what to do with all of them. So this book is about a young, subservient, passive wife who's very obedient to her husband, and then one day she decides to become vegetarian. But really, the book is not about vegetarianism at all. And this is where the paths kind of diverge. So some people think that it's a book about control. It's a woman taking control over her life against the really rigid patriarchy. Other people think that maybe it's a story of a woman's descent into mental illness and the bad support system that she has other than her sister. Some people think maybe it's just an anthem to nature because of all of the references to green, flowers, trees. I still don't quite know what to think of The Vegetarian, so I'm choosing to think of it as all 3 of those things. It's a control book, it's a nature book, it's a mental illness book. I don't know. All I know is that it made me feel so much. Number 4, read a book by an author who identifies themselves as female, non-binary or gender fluid. For this one, I read Shrill by Lindy West. This book is great. Lindy writes a lot about some really hot button topics such as body size and body acceptance. She is a heavier person, and so she talks about that, or she talks about rape culture, rape acceptance, rape jokes, and how inappropriate they are. But the part that's kind of heartbreaking about Lindy West is how heavily she's trolled. It's ridiculous. I would hate for her to be shut out of any corner of any public forum at all simply by being female and outspoken. Number 5, ask a feminist for a book recommendation. This was a great one that came at just the right time for me. It's The Yellow Wallpaper by Charlotte Perkins Gilman. After I read The Vegetarian, as I mentioned, I was completely just at odds. I wanted to cry, but I didn't quite know why, which sucks because I'm not a crier. One of my reading buddies, who is also a feminist, recommended that I read The Yellow Wallpaper to try and make sense of my feelings and make sense of the story that I had read. And it worked. It was perfect. So The Yellow Wallpaper is a short story. It only takes about 30 minutes to get through. It was written about over a century ago by Charlotte Perkins Gilman. It's about a young wife and mother who is given a country rest cure after she finds herself just not very satisfied or happy with her life of young wife and motherhood. And so the rest cure was a real thing at the time, where she is prescribed just simply bed rest. She cannot do anything. She's not allowed to think. She's not allowed to write. She's not allowed to do anything. And so, subscribed to this life of complete passivity, she focuses on the wallpaper in the room where she's resting, this yellow wallpaper that has a pattern behind it. And she starts to see women moving behind the patterns. Maybe the woman is her, and she's trying to break free of these bars in this wallpaper. It's really interesting. You can find this free on sites such as LibriVox or Gutenberg.com. I would highly recommend that you read it, especially if you read The Vegetarian. Both of the stories chronicle a woman's descent into mental illness. Both of the stories show a woman's rebellion, maybe not even intentional, against the intense control that's being put over her. I'm very appreciative to the person who recommended it to me, so thank you. So that's it. Thank you so much for putting this book challenge forth. It was really fun doing Feminist Lit Feb. I really enjoyed it, and I look forward to doing some more challenges in the future. Be sure and like this video, make comments of your own reading suggestions, feminist books, meninist books, whatever books you want to recommend. I am all ears, all eyes, whatever. Any sort of reading method that you consume. That was awkward. Subscribe to my channel. I really appreciate you all watching. Thank you so much. I'll catch you next time.